Matt says Precious is a big flirt.
But that's part of what makes Precious precious.
So we fixed her up with a big guy.
Ian's a big guy.
Yeah, he's really big guy. He's a really nice sized bed.
Meanwhile, this woman tried Matt on for size.
Well, I was thinking he'd be a perfect boyfriend.
Perfect boyfriend. Not for you.
Now that they've both sized up the competition,
Sense that Matt wanted to kiss me.
Not if he wants to keep walking straight.
will they have a change of heart?
I'm Chris Jagger. Welcome to Change of Heart. This is a show where couples who've reached a crossroads in their relationship voluntarily go on one blind date with someone new. Now, we're going to meet them later, but first let's meet our couple. He's a blues singer, and she's a backup singer. They've been singing the same two-part harmony now for the last 8 months. Please welcome Precious McCall and Matt Ferris. Welcome. Now, you guys are here because I guess maybe your romance has hit a little bit of a sour note. Now, Precious, tell us about the first time, though, that you ever heard Matt sing, what that was like.
I went to go see his band play because a friend of mine was singing backup with his band. And he has this amazing voice that's really soulful. You wouldn't expect this face to have that kind of voice.
Nice surprise. All right. Matt, Precious noticed your voice. What was the first thing you noticed about Precious?
Precious has got some boobs on her.
So that's what you noticed first.
Well, I'm singing on stage, I looked down and I saw her smile, great smile. And I came in and saw her in person and she...
And there you go.
Yeah.
All right, Precious, let's talk about when Matt's not on stage, when he's off stage. What do you guys like to do? What's he like to do?
What's he like to do? What's he end up doing?
Well, either.
He pretty much ends up falling asleep.
Falling asleep?
You fall asleep. He can fall asleep in a matter of seconds. We'll go at the movies. I will go get popcorn. By the time I come back, he can be asleep.
I don't fall asleep. It's not like I spend our relationship
when I've been on the phone with him. I'm talking
Well, it's like 3 in the morning when we're talking on the phone.
Just out.
You can't stay awake. A little no-dose will cure that right up.
3 in the morning, we've been talking for like 4 hours, you know. I mean, there's always...
But it's not always 3
All
in
right,
the morning.
Matt, tell me this, though. Now, if Precious backs you up on stage while you're singing, does she back you up in the relationship?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, Precious is an only child, all right? She has sort of an only child syndrome. She has to have her way, man.
Well, yeah.
Well, she does not give. She
She's been spoiled.
give. I mean, I'm more like you pick your battles, you take some things, you let them go, and Precious, everything is a battle, and you gotta get no budging allowed.
Well, I'm very stubborn, but that's part of what, makes Precious precious and can't be helped.
All right, Precious. Precious, when it comes to planning your social life, when you guys are doing things, how's Matt in that department?
Well, he's pretty good about what we want to do, but when we want to do it and how long it's going to take to do it and if he's going to get there on time, pretty much never happens.
Well, let's talk about the times that you do go out, though. You finally made it, and there you are. How's Precious when she's around other men and you guys are on a date?
Precious is kind of a dog. I mean, she's kind of a female. She's kind of a female dog. I mean, she doesn't sleep around, but man, if we go out and there's a cute waiter, she's like, look at that.
Why?
She
Cute,
looks at him, she checks him out. If I were to do the same thing, I would hear it so
sometimes. He does
hard.
keep talking about these girls that are cute and nice and everything.
It's a total double standard.
That's the way I am.
All right, hold on, because when you're both talking, I can't hear anything you're saying. Precious, let me ask you this about Matt. What's the biggest way he's changed since you've known him?
Well, he's pretty much gained about 15, 20 pounds. And, he complains about it all the time. And then so I'll hear him complain about it that he's got to lose weight. Very next day, cheeseburgers. What you have to do for dinner today? Oh, cheeseburger. You gotta cut out the cheese.
Well, that would make 2 of
That's
us because you haven't stayed so slim yourself.
Now, Matt, does Precious encourage you to do some things without her, or is she always together?
Oh, she's a little clingy. If it's a Friday night, I want to go out with some friends of mine. I talk to her. It's some attitude I get from her. It's oh, okay.
Well,
Well, she wants to be with you, I guess.
understand that, but I had a life before her, and I'd like to keep some of that going.
all right.
So it's a little clingy then.
A little bit clingy, yeah.
All right, Matt, so then you figure this is a good time to go on a date with someone else then?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we've been together 7 months or so, 8 months, and, it's this point where you're either going to go on or you're not, and I think, this could be a little crossroads, and we'll see what's out there.
All right, we'll see what's out there, definitely. It seems that Matt and Precious are a little out of sync. Now, when we come back, we're going to meet the people that they dated, and we'll find out, are they going to stay together, or will they have a change of heart? Don't go away. Welcome back to Change of Heart. Here we are with Precious and Matt. Now, Matt tells us that Precious is too clingy and always looking at other men. So we matched him up with a woman who is cling-free and never has a wandering eye. Please welcome Lauren Moore. Hi, Lauren. Nice to see you. Precious, just give me your first impression of Lauren.
Well, she's cute. She's cute, but Matt has pretty random tastes, so I don't know.
Yeah, and Matt, let me ask you, because it's more important, you dated her. Did you like her right off the bat?
Yeah. I mean, when we talked on the phone, it was a really good conversation. I asked her if she had any preference where we wanted to go, and she was just right there, had suggestions, which was a nice change of pace, because I have to pry it out of her.
Always delay.
I asked you.
I know what I want to do.
I asked you, hey, where do you want to go? I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, Precious, why are you like that? You can't make a decision?
No, it's something. He thinks if I say I don't know that I'm just having an attitude, but sometimes I don't care. It's fine. I don't care.
Well,
but he thinks I'm
the
going,
fact is, I
okay.
asked Lauren if she wanted to go anywhere, and she said, well, there's this place down the street. Why don't we go there? We'll do this afterwards. And I was like,
she was good to go.
Thank you. That's great.
So, Matt, now, when you finally met her, they like that. Matt, when you finally met her, did she catch your eye right off the bat?
Yeah, well, actually, the first time I ever saw Lauren was about 6 months ago.
So you remember her from this one chance?
Well, yeah, she's...
And where was this?
Precious and I had gone roller skating, and Lauren was there that night. And I noticed her because she has really pretty red hair and eyes and eyebrows, and she's pretty.
Remember.
And
Precious, Matt said you had the wandering eye. Look who was doing the wandering that night.
hey, I didn't look at her and go, ooh, boy, look at that redhead in the corner. I didn't do any of that.
You can remember her from 6 months ago, so she did something.
I agree. She made an impression.
He definitely had some data storage going on there, because 6 months later, you were still thinking about it, and she made an impression.
I walked in the restaurant and saw her, and I just could not believe that that was the same girl. And
it's funny.
Yeah, and she's attractive. I mean, she's got nice legs. She's nice and thin. And
legs.
Well, Precious talks about the fact she has little knobby knees, and she does not have knobby knees. She's nice.
Now, let me ask Lauren a question, though, because that night that he remembered you, do you have any recollection of him at all?
I vaguely remember him, but I do remember when he walked through the door of the restaurant, I said to myself, what a good-looking guy, nicely dressed, great body.
Matt, let's talk about the other differences, other than obviously the physical things that we've talked about. How are the two women different?
Well, she wasn't checking out other guys. She's no dog, that's for sure. The whole time she was focusing on me. She didn't check out the waiter as he walked by. We were walking along the pier, and she didn't check out any of the guys, and it was nice.
All right, Lauren, let me ask you what you were thinking about Matt that night when you guys were hanging.
Oh, I was thinking he'd be a perfect boyfriend. He was sweet, nice. Matt's a great guy.
Perfect boyfriend. Precious. Did you say he's perfect?
Perfect boyfriend. Not for you. No, not for you.
Yeah, he might be for me. You never know.
Matt, is Lauren also an only child?
Yeah, she's an only child, but you wouldn't know it. I didn't know it until she told me. She certainly doesn't seem to have that stubborn streak or anything like that.
That only child syndrome that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all different.
Now, Lauren, did you get a chance to hear Matt sing at all?
Oh, you wouldn't believe it. We're driving in the car going to the beach, and Matt starts singing to the radio, and I look at him and I said, I didn't know you had such an incredible voice. He says, wasn't even trying. To me, that's so romantic when a guy knows how to sing.
Let me ask Lauren about the romantic side of the date. At some point, did it get that way? Did it turn romantic?
Well, it was interesting. We were walking down the beach. It was a beautiful night, and I could feel some tension. I sensed that Matt wanted to kiss me.
Now, Precious, do you think Matt would do that on a blind date? Want to go there and start kissing on the first blind date?
Not if he wants to keep walking straight.
Now, this was to Matt. Matt, did you actually want to kiss her, or was she feeling some sort of vibe that wasn't there?
Well, I mean, sure, she's a nice-looking girl. I didn't think it would be right, but yeah, I'd kiss her.
Well, you were thinking about it, at least.
Sure, yeah. I mean, there were a couple times where we were up in a Ferris wheel at some point. It was nice, and that would have been the perfect time, but
How about at the end of the night, Lauren, at least a goodbye kiss?
A kiss and a hug, and
Where was this kiss? Like, body-wise? Like, on the body, where was the kiss?
it was
Where was the kiss?
it was right on the side of the mouth.
Oh, okay. Somewhere in the head region anyway. And that's how it ended then?
That's how it ended. Matt's a great guy, and I definitely would go out with him again.
All right, she's pulling for you, Matt. We'll see what happens. Was Matt's date with an attractive redhead who caught his eye 6 months ago enough to give him a change of heart? We're going to find that out later. But next, we get to meet the man that Precious dated, and we'll hear what happened on their date. So stay with us. All right, welcome back. We just heard what happened on Matt's date with Lauren, and now we get to meet the man that Precious dated. Now, Precious has said... Here's what Precious said. These are not my words. She said that Matt is overweight, always falling asleep, and has no concept at all of time. So we matched her up with a semi-pro, totally fit football player who is a master at managing his time. Please welcome Ian McGee. Ian, good to see you. Let me start with you. Matt, Precious was busting on you about your weight. Now, do you think you're in better shape or not?
Ian's a big guy. I mean, I could see him being a football player. He's a big guy. I know Precious likes him tall, so.
Okay, Ian.
Whatever.
Actually, Precious, let me ask you, what was your first take on Ian?
Yeah, he's really, really big guy. much taller than Matt, and obviously in better shape than Matt, so.
Obviously. What do you mean, obviously?
Matt's in great shape.
What did he come in like in a bikini
Like-
brief, all
like,
greased down or
obviously.
something?
I think it's pretty obvious.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious.
I think you might be mistaken.
Let me ask Lauren, though, because you went out with Matt. Do you think he needs to lose 15 pounds?
No, I think Matt's definitely well proportioned. He's got it going on.
You're okay with that? All right. Ian, Matt said earlier that she's got knobby knees, that Precious didn't like the legs thing. Do you have a problem with Precious's legs?
You know what? When I picked her up, she had on these shorts, and I was looking at her legs. She has real nice legs, and they lead up to this tight little ass.
Good.
All right.
See?
Precious, you had complained about Matt not being able to manage his time, that he's on another planet somewhere. How was Ian when it came to time?
Ian was really good. He had everything planned out, left work early so we'd have everything on time.
Well, with you have to plan everything out because you're no help.
No, this guy.
That is not true. She had all kinds of ideas.
I
Precious
have
was
all
right
kinds
there.
of ideas,
Well, I'm
and we
glad
worked
you were so
everything
helpful
out.
with him.
The traffic.
That's nice.
He had time for the traffic, allowed for conversation, hitting around, hanging out, and everything. It was good.
Ian, was there anything at this point that was bothering you about Precious?
Our conversation was real good, and I liked Precious a lot. The only thing that I did notice is in conversation, she's a little self-centered. She talked about herself a lot and didn't really ask me about my background.
Well, you know
the
what?
conversation was good.
I just like to just talk.
But Precious, don't you think it's a good thing to probably ask about the other person's background?
Well, I would ask about him in
maybe if she was really...
overall general conversation.
Matt, back me up on this. Is that true? Does she talk about herself a lot?
Not with me, but it may be that she's not too interested in the guy she's with. She tends to do that.
If she wasn't interested, she wouldn't have agreed to come out here, right? She wouldn't have agreed to go out with someone else.
All right, Ian, were there other signals that while you guys were together out on your date that maybe she was into you?
We were playing miniature golf, and there was a peach tree on the course, and I dared her to go ahead and eat one. She took the peach down, and she's doing this thing with it, like sucking the juice and eating it all seductively, and it's coming down.
Ian, sometimes a peach is just a peach.
Maybe.
But Matt, don't you think maybe she was saying something with it, licking the fuzz, doing the juice? I don't know.
The girl likes a piece of fruit. What's the big deal?
Now, Precious, you impressed him with the peach. Obviously, he was turned on by it. Did he impress you with anything?
You know what he did actually impress me with? Because we were talking about changing for their little date and everything later on in the evening, and he said he had to iron his shirt. And I was highly impressed by the fact that he actually ironed his clothes. Because Matt doesn't iron his clothes.
Okay.
He went up to his apartment, he had his ironing board set up and his little spray water bottle, and it was very, very impressive.
And I couldn't believe how impressed she was. I mean, don't you own iron, bro? I mean, most people have
It's not like
volunteer to iron
it's not like a walk around all frumpy or anything.
Yeah, but wait a minute. It's not so much that you were ironing, but you were over at his apartment while he's changing clothes and stuff.
Yeah, and he has lots of clothes. His bedroom has like a wall-to-wall closet, so he has tons of clothes. Matt doesn't have all that many clothes.
Then,
So he
but
has
Matt,
tentacles
though,
and
there she was in her, there she was in his bedroom checking out his closets and stuff. Does that bother you or surprise
It's
you?
a really nice sized bed.
Oh, yeah. You must get awfully lonely in that big bed, Ian.
I don't think so, bro.
Precious, let me ask you this because you said Matt had a hard time staying awake. Did Ian want to doze off at any point of the night?
No, he did not want to doze off. We got to my place at the end of the night around 11:30, and from 11:30 to 1:30, we talked all night. He didn't yawn once.
Oh,
So it was
okay.
very nice.
Matt didn't yawn once either.
So, Matt, you didn't yawn at all?
No, I didn't yawn. I was totally awake. It was great. I had a great time. I was totally into it. I was not tired at all. We had a wonderful time. The energy was high, and we
All right,
laughed.
Ian, what about when you were out with Precious? Any physical signals that she was hinting around to some
You know,
romance?
I don't know if you've noticed this, but she's very touchy-feely. She's been touching my leg the whole time, conversing.
Oh, we've noticed.
Yeah, she was, touching my arm. She commented that she liked my muscles more than, Matt. We were on the ship. We were on our ship, our little dinner dance cruise we went on, and she was wearing this shirt. She looked very nice, and I told her, I had some boxer shorts that looked exactly like her shirt.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't get a chance to show her, and now I wore them again.
Do you
so,
have them on?
Yeah, I have them on.
Oh, you're going to let her take a little look?
Should I show 'em?
These are cute.
So, Ian, there you are with matching underwear and tops, so that was nice. Was there anything else interesting by the end of the night? Conversation-wise?
On the ride home, we had real good conversation. And we were talking about a lot of things. Out of nowhere, Precious started asking me about my sex life. We started getting into that type
See,
of
that's
thing.
what I mean. Precious, she cannot not talk about sex and guys she think. Did you talk about guys she thought was attractive?
No, she pretty much talked about me. She asked me, if I was
Yeah.
freaky in the bedroom, what type of sexual
She's a
situations
dog.
I've been into.
She was a dog.
And,
man.
I was,
Wait, I want to hear more about this. Ian, what does she mean by freaky?
we talked about that. She mentioned some things. I don't really think it's good for national TV, especially in front of her man. I don't really want to get into that. But it was some good conversation.
Well, Matt, you know Precious pretty well. Do you know what she's talking about when she's saying freaky?
Well, I have firsthand knowledge of what she's talking about, actually. No, I mean, Precious, she likes to talk about stuff like that, and that's what I mean. She has no idea about,
And that doesn't surprise you at all, though, that she's talking about with her date.
Because she talks like that with everybody, and that's
Well, yeah,
when we're
I
out,
think
she talks about guys that she thinks are hot. Oh, he's got a cute butt, all that type of stuff. So yeah, no, it doesn't surprise me.
I don't know.
at all,
She got a
because
little
she's
intimate with
always
me.
doing
She was
that.
asking some personal questions.
Let me ask Precious, though, did you like Ian's answers about being freaky and everything?
Well, he's got some seriously freaky ideas himself. It's okay.
So I guess that's a yes. Okay, it was freaky. Good enough.
No.
Will Matt and Precious have a change of heart? That's what we're going to find out. Now, during the break, they're going to make their decisions, and we're going to come right back and find out what they decided next. All right, welcome back to Change of Heart. We are at the moment of truth. During the break, Matt and Precious each made a final decision about the future of their relationship, and there's no turning back now. Will they stay together, or will they have a change of heart? That's what we're going to find out. Matt, you came on the show because you said you're at a turning point in the 8-month relationship, and you thought, hey, this is a good way to test the strength of the relationship by going on these blind dates. So, we're going to start with you, Matt. You said you wanted to go out with somebody who wasn't always checking out other guys when you were out with them, somebody that wasn't so clingy, and somebody that didn't always have to get their way, like you said Precious did. Now, you do have 8 months with Precious. You had a great date with Lauren. It's your decision. What are you going to say?
Well, yeah, I had a great date with Lauren, and Lauren is a great girl. And apparently, Precious is, if let off her leash, still the dog that I thought she was, with her sexy talk and all that. But I am crazy about the girl. I dig her so much. And I want to give it a shot for the long run. I'm going to...
Stay together. Okay, Lauren, sorry things didn't work out for you.
All right.
Precious, now it's your turn. Now, you said you wanted to date someone more fit, somebody that wasn't always asleep, like the problem you had with Matt. Time management was an issue because you said Matt couldn't manage his time. So here you were with Ian. You guys, he's much better fit, semi-pro football player kind of guy. You went out and had a good time. You went a little miniature golfing. You did the dinner cruise, and you had a little saucy talk at the very end of the date. So Matt says he wants to stay with you and hang in there. What do you decide?
Well, yeah, Ian did hit all those points that I was talking about that Matt doesn't have, can't get a hold of, and he's nice and fit and all of that. Matt and I have a really, really great time, and I really do like hanging out with him, even though I like hanging out with Ian and could do it again. But you know what? I think I'm gonna stick with Matt because I do love him. We're gonna stay together.
Stay together. All right. Ian, sorry things didn't work out for you. And Matt and Precious, I guess, coming on the show has helped you see that you may have some differences, but who knows? You may be in eternal harmony together singing your life away or something. So good luck and congratulations. That's our show for today. Thanks to Ian and Lauren, and good luck to Precious and Matt. We'll see you next time here on Change of Heart.